Hi there, this is video 6.5. It is about slope, and slope is cool and it's important because it's a really quick way to see if when you're graphing your line is in the right spot. Okay, but slope is just another word for slant of a line. Okay, if you've ever done any roofing, it's the same as pitch in a roof. So if you have a roof, if you've done roofing, you might have worked on the 412 roof. I've helped shingle if you got wrangled into helping shingle a few times. And I'll work on a 412 roof because that means for every 4 inches it goes up, it goes over 12 inches. So this is my rise over my run. We had a house in Cathedral at one point and its roof was super steep. It was 12-12. So it was 12 inches up, 12 inches over, which makes it, we made it a 45-degree angle, and there was no way I was working on that. You had to be roped in and extra work. No. Okay, so pitch is the same thing. And if you've ever been out in the mountains or somewhere there's big hills, you might see the percentage grade. I used to drive a smart car, so you know that became important. It also becomes important for like guys, people driving big trucks. So a 10% grade means you go 10 feet up. For every 100 feet, you go horizontally. In general, you read a line just like you'd read a sentence, you read it left to right. And I found this cool little slope tree, and I think it's brilliant. So we're reading this way. So any lines, you go this way, that's going uphill, left to right, that's positive slope. If you are going this way and your line goes downhill, so if you put basically a ball at the little start of the line and it goes downhill, that's negative slope. Zero slope is probably the easiest one to understand because there isn't any, right? It's flat. And the one that might be a little harder to, in this case, possibly see and or understand is undefined slope. So a line that's vertical has an undefined slope, and we will talk about that later. So in general, all I want you to do is draw some lines right here that have positive slopes. Do it now. Right? So it can be like really steep. All those, as you read this direction, if you're a little bug, you have to go uphill, and that's a positive slope. So obviously negative slopes would be lines that go downhill. Now, because I said lines in geometry, lines should have are theoretical constructs that go on in both directions forever. Or if you're drawing a line, put some arrows on the ends of it. It's a good idea. Oh goodness, I just drew a parallel line. So a little bit downhill, almost vertical downhill. Right, not too hard to remember. And there is, dun, 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 a delightful formula, and we'll do a little bit of practice here for slope. Oh, so now I just move it, and I'll show you how to do slope. So if it's graphed, all you have to do is you find 2 points on the line where it hits in, where it crosses nicely in a corner. Now, this first line, it looks like my arrows are the spots where it crosses really nice. Okay, so what I'm saying is I don't want this point, right? Because that's not where 2 of the dotted, the grid crosses. And then you draw a handy dandy right triangle. Like that. And then you just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 this way. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 that way. So our formula, y is equal to, whoopsies, on your video that will be an m on your worksheet, because m is a formula for slope. So slope, as we said, is equal to my rise. It went 8 up and it went 10 over. So it's going to give me 0.4 6.4. And slope doesn't have units on it. It's actually a ratio. So don't have to worry about that. And that's it. But wait, there's more. We have to check whether it's a positive or negative. Now, I didn't catch it. But really, if you start here and you go this way, that's a negative slope. So really, this should have been negative. This should have been a negative. And that should have been a negative. And that's what I was talking about with just generally knowing that negative slopes are going downhill left to right. You'll catch yourself, just like I did there. All right, let's take a look at this next one. Now, this one is pretty easy. Because honestly, I found somewhere where the dots were already there for you. Right? Make yourself a triangle. I guess if you wanted to make it up over there, wouldn't matter. Then we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now I'm going to pay attention going from here this way. Right? We had to go up to get to our second point, so it's a plus. We always go left, right on the bottom. So the bottom part I always take as positive. So then it's the up part or down, the vertical part, which gets a sign sometimes. So M is equal to, let's see, 7. That's my rise. Over 5. And most of the time, you could actually leave it as a decimal. There's a fraction like that. But should be 1.4. There we go. And then I'm going to double check as I'm reading this way. If I was a little bug and I'm traveling this way, I have to go uphill. So that's positive. So we're good. All right, last one. One's a little tougher. Because I think there's a point where it's crossing on the grid. And that one. Generally, the farther apart your points are when you're looking for the slope, the more accurate it's going to be. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But this one, right, to get from here to down here, we're definitely negative. So M is equal to minus 7 over 5. Slope is equal to minus 1.4. So always check that part. All right, and I squished it here at the bottom. Slope, so this is your takeaway. The slope of a horizontal line is 0. I'll just show you what that is. Whoops. Okay, so there's my graph. So here's my line. Well, first of all, you can't draw a triangle, right? There's no way that I can connect this point and this point to make a triangle. So how much rise? Well, how much did it go up? It went up 0 over, it doesn't really matter what that run is. Let's just call it 5. Okay, so and if we look at a vertical line, well, let's say it goes up 5, but the run part is going to be 0. If you do that on your calculator, 5 divide by 0, you get an error. In fact, it even tells me which one it is. Okay, so that's the math behind it. It's easier just to remember it or to remember the handy dandy slope tree. So those are the two tricky ones because they are a little hard to calculate, and just in general, the steeper the line, whether it's either going uphill or downhill, the bigger the number is going to be. So, ta-da, now you know what slope